they're like, it triggers them.
What about for peptides like semaglutide? I mean, that's also a naturally occurring peptide, correct?
Yeah. So my understanding on semaglutide is what Novo, what's the name of the drug company that just put it out as Ozempic? Novo's Pharmaceutical, or anyway, I don't remember the name of it. So it's sold as a drug, as an FDA approved drug called Ozempic. And my understanding is what they did is they took a naturally occurring substance in our gut, but what they did is they extended its half-life. So that, so when it's secreted in the gut, it's there and then it's gone very shortly thereafter. When you take the drug, its half-life is much, much longer in the system. So it's acting on that GLP-1 receptor in a way that just keeps triggering all those mechanisms, not to mention the fact that it's having an effect on the reward centers in the brain, so that you're not quite as driven to eat food, right? Or those snacks that you used to think that you loved. It's really good at helping the body to make an appropriate amount of insulin when you're taking in sugar. It slows down the gastric emptying so that you feel fuller longer. The dark side of that is many, many people get constipated on it, and many people may get nauseous as well. Then you get an improvement in blood sugar control. Right. So, which is an improvement in insulin sensitivity, which is like, I mean, this stuff is pretty magical. Like, what's amazing about it is it has so many health benefits to the brain, to the heart, to the kidneys, to, I think, even to the lungs. And then, of course, just by losing excess body weight, people's inflammation is going to go down. They're going to feel better. They're going to have more energy. I think, like, this is it's an amazing compound. I think the biggest problem with it is, and again, I've seen this, is when you give someone something like semaglutide and it dramatically reduces their appetite and it helps them to drop weight, if you don't give them the coaching on what to eat, so that you make sure that they're getting their protein, they're getting their micronutrients that they need, and that they're not eating a bunch of junk, and that they build new eating habits, and that as soon as they start to feel, they've dropped some weight, you get them moving and they start exercising and they start building lean mass. If all of those things don't happen at the same time, you end up with a person who loses a bunch of weight, doesn't exercise, doesn't eat properly, loses their lean mass, doesn't change their eating habits or their lifestyle. They come off the semaglutide, whether it's in 6 months, a year, or 2 years, they go right back to their old habits. And guess what's going to happen?
Yeah.
The weight's going to come back with a vengeance, because now they've lost lean mass on top of everything else. And it's not that semaglutide makes you lose lean mass, but if you're not eating protein and you're not exercising and you're not eating enough to begin with, your body's not going to keep the muscle around. It doesn't need it.
Okay, which came to the other question I have is, what can a person do to maximize the benefit of the peptides? So you kind of answered basically everything that you should do to obtain good health.
Yeah, like you've got to do the work, right? Like the challenge with semaglutide and now Trizepatide, which is, the more recent one that's possibly even better than semaglutide, is that they make it so easy that people are like, oh, this is the closest thing to a silver bullet in weight loss that has ever come out, right? Yeah. Plus it has health benefits. But if people aren't guided and coached to still do the work, it becomes a double-edged sword, and it will turn around and bite you. Like, it's unfortunate, but it will, it's, and then you get newspaper, like, I don't know if you saw it in the media, some celebrity was given Ozempic by her doctor, and then she stopped using it, and then she started binge eating and she regained twice as much weight. And this stuff is so horrible. And I'm like, no, it's not so horrible. It's just that, it's not a get out of jail